Hold still now. There's something on your nose. Please, Mr. Brown, you must remain absolutely still. Otherwise, this will never be finished in time for the art exhibition tomorrow.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gruber. I'm afraid sitting still is one thing bears aren't very good at.
Almost finished. Just one last stroke. There.
It's very good, Mr. Gruber. My paintings always come out looking like that.
And what's wrong with that? Art comes in all shapes and sizes, and many different styles. Look.
I could throw paint on a canvas too, but I wouldn't call it art.
But it is, Mr. Brown, it is. Some artists throw paint, some walk through it, but it's all art.
Even this?
Aha, I see you found my latest treasure. This was just an old, dusty picture. Then I cleaned off some paint, and I could hardly believe my eyes. Underneath was an old master. That means it was painted many years ago by a famous artist. It's very valuable.
Well, it still looks like a lady with a banana in her ear to me.
Things aren't always as they seem in this world, Mr. Brown. Just you wait until I've finished cleaning it.
Allow me, Mrs. Bird. If you don't mind my asking, are we going far?
We're just taking these few things to the rubbish bin.
What's this? I've never seen this before. I suppose they don't think it's worth keeping. What did Mr. Gruber say? Things aren't always what they seem.
What have you got there, Bear?
A painting I found in the rubbish. That's why I'm scrubbing it. Underneath the top layer of paint, there may be an old master.
What? Impossible. What will an old master be doing in with the rubbish?
It isn't impossible. Mr. Gruber says it often happens.
Mr. Gruber said that. Let me see. Let me do it. Careful now. Nothing. I knew it.
Yes, Mr. Brown. I put your painting by the front door, just as you said. It's quite safe.
Oh dear, I'm afraid we made a dreadful mistake. This was Mr. Brown's painting. There's only one thing to do. We'll have to admit the truth. I'm sure Mrs. Bird won't be too upset when she learns what we've done, Mr. Curry. It was an honest mistake.
Mrs. Bird? Why do you have to tell her? There must be another way.
Ah, Mr. Curry, models must remain absolutely still.
Splishing, splashing, in a flash, you can dip it, dash it, even jab it, then you poke it, stroke it. You can soak it till you swish it, swirl it, do it your own way. You know that art isn't work, it's play. Throw your worries and your brush away. Use your hands, use your feet, you don't have to be neat. Give it style, give it flair, use your paint with your hair. Throw your paint around, faster and faster. It's never a disaster, just call it an old master. Purple, pink, yellow, green, red, white, or blue. It's up to you to use any color you choose. Splish it, splash it, in a flash. You can dip it, dab it, even jab it, then you roll it, stroke it. You can soak it till you swish it, swirl it, do it your own way.
Bear! Look what you've done! I'm having no part of this. Oh, dear.
It doesn't look very like Mrs. Brown. As Mr. Gruber said, it all depends how you look at things. He's right. It's even worse this way up. Painting isn't as easy as one might think.
Paddington?
Whoop.
Brown residence. I'm from the art exhibition, here to pick up an entry.
There it is. Mind how you go. Mr. Brown's put a lot of work into that painting. Paddington? Oh, there you are. Come on in, it's time for supper. And make sure you have a good wash first.
Oh, this lamb is delicious, Mrs. Bird. I think I'll have some more.
I thought artists were supposed to starve.
Then it looks like Paddington's the only artist at this table.
I'm not really very hungry, Mrs. Bird. May I be excused?
Of course.
I do hope he's all right. He hardly touched his dinner, and he seemed to have some funny red spots all over his face.
Wow, red spots. I hope he's given it to me, whatever it is. He's got green ones as well.
Green ones? If they're not gone in the morning, I'll send for the doctor.
Would be a shame if he has to stay in bed and miss the exhibition tomorrow. I'm so pleased you're feeling better today, Paddington. Your spots are all gone.
I know. I found some of them on his towel this morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, remarkable use of colour.
Great imagination.
A credit to the artist.
I'm sure that's yours, Henry. I recognise the bag.
What's the matter, Paddington? Are you feeling all right?
Yes, thank you. But I think I may be about to have a relapse.
We are delighted to announce that first prize in the Community Arts Exhibition is awarded to Mr. Henry Brown of 32 Windsor Gardens.
Why, that's me! I can't believe it. I've never won anything before. But this isn't my painting.
What? Well, if it's not your painting, then whose is it?
I think it may be mine. But you've got it upside down.
Better.
True genius.
Marvelous.
Thank you. But I must share this prize with my neighbour. If Mr. Curry hadn't modelled for me, I could never have made my very own old master. Pardon? Could you please tell me what's going on?
It's, how do you say? Pardon, Monsieur Lebert.
Yes. Pardon. I was wondering what was happening.
It is le Festival du Pardon.
Pardon? But that means excuse me. My phrase book doesn't mention festivals. I wonder if Mr. Gruber knows what's going on.
Le Pardon is an annual event of great importance, Monsieur Lebert. There is a fair and a fireworks display.
It's why we've come to St. Castile, Mr. Brown. It's a fascinating custom that I want to include in my book, The World and Its Wonders.
And to make it even more special, there is a parade of the village band. That is the reason I am in uniform. I am the leader.
But I thought you were the baker, Mr. Dupont. Madame Zaza, international fortune teller.
I wouldn't put too much stock in fortune tellers, Mr.
Un ourson. Bienvenue, bienvenue.
I would like my paw read, please.
Comment? Where did you go?
I'm right here, Mrs. Zaza. You did say come on.
I said comment. That means, what did you say? Please sit where I can see you.
I would be honored to be the parade's official photographer, Monsieur Dupont. Very honored indeed.
Monsieur Dupont! Monsieur Dupont! There has been a disaster!
Now, if you'd like to cross my palm with silver, I'll see what I can do to oblige.
Paw reading is much cheaper than I expected.
You are supposed to give me the coin. Now, let me see your paw. You seem to have a very long lifeline, even for a bear.
I don't think it is a lifeline. I think it's an old marmalade chunk that I forgot to wash off.
I cannot read chunks. You will have to pay extra and have the crystal ball.
Oh, thank you.
No. I meant I would use the crystal ball to read your future. Now, what month is your birthday?
June and December.
June and December? But you can't have two birthdays. No one has more than one.
Bears do, just like the Queen.
It says you are going on a journey. And I think you should leave quite soon.
A journey? But I've already done that. That's how Mr. Gruber and I arrived here in France.
I'm in another one very soon, and it will be a short journey, but it will go off with a bang. Ah, the picture is fading. I think my palm needs crossing again.
Again? I hope this fortune comes with some kind of guarantee. Whoa! Apparently, it doesn't.
And how was your fortune, Mr. Brown?
It wasn't very good value, Mr. Gruber. I think my lines must have been crossed.
Yes, Monsieur Lebert. It is a bad day all around.
Why's that?
The man who plays the big drum in Monsieur Dupont's band has taken ill.
I cannot find anyone to replace him. What is a band without someone at the back who can go boom, boom, boom?
Boom, boom, boom. I wonder.
What is it, Mr. Brown?
Mrs. Zaza said something about a journey and that it would go off with a bang.
Ah, yes. I see what Monsieur Lebert is getting at. L'harmonie, messieurs! L'harmonie!
Mr. Dupont says the drum is a very important instrument. Even when the band stops playing, I am to keep banging so that the others can keep in step.
Mr. Brown! Mr. Brown! Mr. Brown, you're keeping everyone awake with your drumming.
Monsieur Lebert, please, the noise.
Oh, hello. I was just practicing in the wardrobe so I wouldn't disturb anyone.
It is not working, Monsieur Lebert.
Oh! Everyone turned out for the big event.
Bravo, Monsieur Lebert. Monsieur Lebert's noisy practice paid off. The band sounds wonderful.
Indeed it does, Madame Penet. But I do wish Mr. Brown would face this way occasionally. I'd like to take a nice photograph as a memento. They're on their way back. I should be able to get a proper picture of him now.
But where is he?
Monsieur Dupont, where is Mr. Brown?
Ce n'est pas possible. What has happened to him?
Madame Zaza, have you seen young Mr. Brown?
You mean that skinflint bear who gave me the foreign coins? I predicted he'd go on a journey and it would go off with a bang. Just you wait and see.
You know, it's a funny thing, but for the past 5 minutes, it's been all drum and no band. And it's getting rather hot.
I can hear him, Monsieur Gruber, but I can't see him.
Mr. Brown is most unpredictable. He could be anywhere. Oh, Mr. Brown, there you are. However did you manage to get down there?
Oh, it was quite easy. It's the getting up part that's difficult.
Don't worry, Mr. Brown. I'll rescue you. But first... It may not be the most flattering of photos, Mr. Brown, but at least I got a good picture of you with your drum.
Mrs. Zaza was right after all. I did go on a journey, and it certainly went off with a bang. Dear Aunt Lucy, I had the worst nightmare the other night. You won't believe what happened. That's my hat. You give it back to me.
Finders keepers. What's under your bed?
My hat and my things! Help! No! Huh? You can imagine how pleased I was to wake up and find my hat and all my other things were safe and sound. It was certainly an unusual start to the day, but then, as it turned out, it was a very unusual day altogether.
Good morning, Paddington. Don't look worried. We've a big surprise for you. We're going to have a picnic on the river.
And we're having a fishing competition. Dad promised £1 to whoever catches the first fish. And with my new fishing net, I won't let any get away. Here, Paddington, give it a try.
Thank you very much. Whoops.
Mind what you're doing, Paddington. That's my favourite parasol. I would hate anything to happen to it. Now, however will I manage to pack all of these sandwiches into this basket?
I think I can help you with those, Mrs.
I'm
Bird.
sure you can, Paddington. But leave some for the picnic.
Hurry up, Paddington. When you've finished, you can bring your suitcase out to the car. I brought the fishing tackle, and you can use my favourite rod if you like.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
It'll be a tight squeeze with my old gramophone, but we always bring it to picnics on the river.
I'm sorry, Paddington. There's no room for your suitcase.
But you brought your fishing rods, Mr. Brown. And Mrs. Bird brought her parasol. And Mrs. Brown brought her gramophone. And Jonathan has his net.
All right, Paddington. But you'll have to squeeze it in the back seat.
It's my belt.
Ouch, Paddington. Your suitcase is poking in my ribs.
And so, Aunt Lucy, we set off for my very first picnic on the River Thames.
Ah, Mr. Brown, I presume. I was about to cancel your reservation.
I'm so sorry we're late. We got lost. You see, we took a wrong turn on a marmalade stain.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Well, I see. Right, can you cast off by yourselves?
Yes, of course. No problem at all. Thank you very much.
It looks a bit small to me. Are you sure it's safe?
Don't worry, Mrs. Bird. I've never lost a passenger yet.
There's always a first time.
Here we go. You're in charge of the ropes, Paddington. Ready? Cast off, Paddington. Hold on, everyone.
Cast off? Hold on.
They're overboard! They're overboard! Hold on, Paddington. We're coming.
I did hold on. That's how I fell in.
Here, don't worry, I'll save you.
Oh, poor Paddington.
Shall we call
Paddington
I'm sorry,
all right?
Paddington. I thought you understood.
Thank goodness he's safe.
Of course he's safe. The water's not very deep by the pier.
Paddington, you must be more careful. You don't know how to swim.
My hat! I've lost my hat!
Maybe we're rid of that old hat once and for all. It really is an embarrassment whenever we go out.
There it is! My hat!
Oh, my parasol!
It was worse than my nightmare.
The current's pretty strong in this stretch. They'll probably get swept over the weir.
Swept over the weir?
Either that or sucked into a whirlpool down at the lock.
Sucked into a whirlpool?
Come on, Paddington. We'll save it.
My picnic on the river had turned into a panic on the river. My hat is in there!
Hello there. Did you lose something?
I lost a hat, a rare Peruvian hat.
Eh? A Persian cat? You lost a cat?
Not a cat, a hat. It's a rare one from darkest Peru. It's a family heirloom.
Never heard of a hat being an heirloom.
Mine is. My uncle handed it down to me.
Well, if it went over the weir, it's probably miles away by now.
Sorry, Paddington.
Come on, Paddington. Fishing will cheer you up.
I don't think anything can do that, Mr. Brown.
You caught one, Paddington. Now just reel it in. That's it. Wind it in and hang on.
Well, I'll be. It's Mrs. Bird's parasol.
And my hat. Ha!
You've caught the first fish, Paddington.
Marmalade must be good fish bait. It ate my emergency sandwich.
My parasol. Oh, thank you, Paddington. And I'm so glad you found your hat. It really is one of a kind. Most unusual. Just like you.
After that, my picnic on the river was a day I would never forget. But a few times I had to pinch myself just to make sure I wasn't dreaming.